Welcome to Friday Finance Focus for the 14th of December. This week in the news, go ahead, start complimenting yourself from LinkedIn this week. Celebrating your victories, even the small ones, can have a powerful effect on your mood and your ability to accomplish even bigger things going forward, according to Harvard's Teresa Amabile. Praise, even when self-directed, triggers our brain's reward centres and helps boost our ability to remember new skills. How can you get started? Make a habit of regularly listing and reflecting on your accomplishments, little and big. The practice can come in handy during performance reviews or job interviews. Loans are taking so long to approve that a typical 4-week sales campaign is now too short and should be extended, says a leading property market analyst. The tightening loan approval process is taking its toll on home auction markets, with Sydney's clearances on Saturday expected to fall below 40% and Melbourne's to hit low 40% range. That's from AFR this week. Idea of the day from LinkedIn this week. Running your own business can be hard, but always remember why you started, says Jill Henderson, co-founder and director at The Whiny Cow. Don't let negative commentary from people who don't understand what you do get you down. Remember the 80-20 rule, and if you can satisfy 80% all the time, you're doing okay. What time should you really arrive at the airport to catch a flight from AFR this week? 2 hours. These days there seems to be a view that anything less than 2 hours will almost certainly see you miss your flight. In 99% of occasions, 2 hours is more than enough time to move through all elements of an airport. Have a quick bite to eat and small sit down, a fleeting glance at duty free, and arrive well in time to wait at the gate for 30 minutes before the plane actually boards. Become the master of your own fate. Ignore the 2-hour rule. Of course, keep your eye on the news, because a strike of customs or security staff or a glitch in the check-in system could result in a much longer process. Labor's proposed negative gearing and capital gains tax reforms will only have a small effect on individual investments, and residential property will remain attractive, Goldman Sachs economists say in a new research note on the housing market. The opposition's proposal to limit negative gearing tax breaks to new housing investments could only lower investors' return in the event of little or negative capital gain on dwelling values, the Economist writes in Fear versus Fundamentals. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission this week released a report proposing government bodies to scrutinise how Facebook and Google's secretive algorithms distributed traffic to publishers. Facebook's senior policy executive Andy O'Connell said this idea that we would create a generalised algorithm regulator without a specific set of problems they are trying to fix to make choices for consumer rather than putting users in control, it is pretty unprecedented. Idea of the day from LinkedIn this week. Don't listen to those who say you can't achieve something, says advisors Monzo Bank CEO Tom Blomfield. People also often told me I'd never be authorised by the regulators to be CEO. How do we overcome it? Self-belief, a really supportive team and tons of hard work. National Australia Bank have pushed out its expectations of the next interest rate rise by the Reserve Bank of Australia to the second half of 2020 from 2019 because inflation is weaker and the RBA more patient than it previously thought. Peak to trough house price falls for Sydney and Melbourne have been upgraded to around 15%, indicating most of the losses are already factored in, and it remains concerned about household consumption growth. NAB economists upgraded their call on unemployment, forecasting a fall to 4.75% early to mid-2019, and have GDP growth slowing to 2.5% for the 18-19 year. Shadow banks are grabbing property share from the majors, with rates nearly 80 basis points cheaper and faster loan approval, analysis of rates and conditions shows. The banks, which are not authorised as deposit-taking institutions, are growing at 2.5 times than their rivals, but still account for only 9.5% of the mortgage market, according to analysis. As the Christmas break approaches, those planning a holiday are faced with a classic personal finance conundrum: finding the right insurance policy. Aside from standalone policies, you may find your credit card offers free comprehensive travel insurance. A comparative look at credit card travel insurance versus standalone policies from finders.com.au shows a significant price difference between the two based on card annual fees. But as Campbell Fuller of the Insurance Council of Australia points out, buying a policy based on price is not the point. That's from AFR this week. That's it for this week's headlines. As usual, my news sources are from linkedin.com and afr.com, and follow us on Facebook at Capital Financing Australia and like the page to get your weekly Friday finance focus.